So the airline industry may suffer more as investors consider selling off their shares in some major airlines. Warren Buffett, the legendary American investor, for instance, has decided to sell off his firm's entire holdings in 4 major U.S. airlines like Delta, American Airlines, Southwest, and United Airlines. But what does this really mean? Stock market analyst Bertha Tubiga has been speaking to me about the impact as investors sell off their shares in major airlines and what the airlines can do to protect their stocks and shareholders.
Let me say that such a person, it's an investment guru across the globe. And unlike, for instance, we have social media influencers, and this person happens to be an investment influencer. So taking such a decision to sell off his shares in these 4 major airlines in the industry is definitely going to have an adverse or a negative impact on the market. That's if their shares, well, people like that would definitely have some form of majority shareholding. And he stated that he doesn't see the future of the airline industry to be that positive, so the decision to sell off these shares. Now, if the market is going to be affected, shareholders that have shares in these companies are also going to be affected, because when such decisions are taken, it affects the entire market. Now, markets like that are efficient market. They are, unlike the Ghana Stock Exchange, that is not an efficient market. Such informations have great impact on the stock market. And then one other thing is that there's the possibility of seeing these shares actually slump in their prices on this exchange. So it's not a good thing for the airline industry, especially these 4 airlines that he's going to sell off his shares in, and it's not a good thing for the market as well.
Okay, so you point out that, Warren Buffett even says the airline industry is going to change forever because of COVID-19. And seeing that we are not going to see an end to the woes of the airline industry now, how can the airline operators protect their stocks? What can they do? It's like there's nothing they can do right now. Is there something they can do?
Well, for now, there's little they can do, or there's nothing they can really do, because as an airline industry, basically what brings in the money is that you are in business and the airlines are flying. But most, or let me say almost all airlines, apart from domestic flights, which have been given room to fly, are not flying. Borders are closed and you can't travel. And to protect their shareholders, what I can say is that definitely your prices are going to go down. But as to when this is going to end, this pandemic is going to end, would determine how they can actually protect their investors. If the pandemic should end soon, then within the short period, or after the pandemic, the bans have been lifted, then these airlines can put in strategies to actually cover up for some of the losses that they have made during this period. For someone who asks that they are regulated, their prices might be regulated, they can't go beyond some point. But this is an industry, let me put it that way, it's an industry crisis, and they need to be able to cover up the losses that they have made. And one thing that we can also look at now is that when these airlines are finally, these bans are finally lifted, all other things being equal, demand might go up. Why am I saying demand for these airlines are going to go up? The lockdowns, the bans on international flights were, it's not something that was planned for. It just happened. And there are people that might be in countries or locations that they are not supposed to be now, but they find themselves there and they need to go back home to do business, to make ends meet. So if these people are in other locations and then these bans are lifted, no matter the cost, how much it will cost them to get a ticket to go back home, they will definitely pay for it. So demand, there's a possibility that demand for these flights is going to go up when bans are finally lifted. And there's also a possibility whereby people will want to relax on traveling to other countries because of this coronavirus pandemic.